Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide podcast, where we discuss your favorite marble sports. We bring you in-depth analysis of each event across many different marble sports competitions. Catch all the information and drama you want to hear about your favorite players, teams, events, and more right here on the MSW podcast. Hello everybody, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Marble Sports Worldwide podcast. I'm your host Brendan, and we're talking marbles. Very exciting episode today. The final episode before the start of the 2019 Marble Olympics, which will start this Friday, for me at least, or for everyone at least, just at different times. Friday, April 19th, releases the first episode. You will be listening to this possibly, most likely, on that date or past it, so at that point go check it out. But for me right now, I'm still in waiting. And I'm very excited to finally get to watch the 2019 Marble Olympics. And you're going to hear all the analysis, all the discussion, all the drama right here on the MSW podcast about the Marble Olympics and the other marble sports. But this is our final podcast for a good while, or I think a good while, where there will be no Marble Olympics events to talk about. Then we will, I don't know how long the Marble Olympics runs. For a while. I think like a weekly episode, and then there's like 16, so a few months maybe? Really? A few months? I don't know, maybe a few months, but 3 months, I don't know. I don't do their scheduling. I don't even know. But I know that it's coming and it's exciting. It definitely is probably the most popular marble sports channel in the world. And of course, we will discuss that here. But there are other marble channels, and that's what today is about. Today's podcast, we're going to have 3 guests on, 2 or 3 guests, all talking about their channels. These are channels ranging from smaller channels to quite large channels. I'm not going to reveal the people yet. They're going to be kind of a surprise, but they're ranging from very small channels to very large channels to just all over. Coming on here to discuss, first their channel, and we're going to hear from them their fantasy picks. Hear what they have to say as knowledgeable Marble Olympics and marble sports people. But we're going to hear from them 2 or 3 guests, just because I want to, emphasize these other marble sports channels before we're getting swept up by the amazing and exciting drama of the Marble Olympics and all of its events, and the speed at which that's going to come in a couple of weeks. But ML starts soon, so just make sure you watch that. Probably is already out by the time you're listening to this, so make sure you check that out. And we'll be talking a bunch of things today. A lot of topics to get through before this season starts. And releasing this episode for you quickly, more quick than usual before the start, just for you guys, just to get all the information that you guys want to hear. So without further ado, I think we're going to go to our first guest. And because we're doing so many guests this time, we're going to have shorter segments, probably, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. 10, 15 minutes, whatever. We're just going to talk, but it's not going to be the whole time, because we want to get to everyone, and we want everyone to be able to talk about their channel. So without further ado, let's get to our first guest.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm about to be on the line here with our first guest, but before we get to our first guest, I do want to clarify one quick thing. A couple minutes ago that I said, when I said the last podcast, I did not mean the last podcast, for the podcast, of course. I meant the last podcast that will not have Marble Olympics content for like half the time on it. So just to be aware of that in case you misinterpreted what I said before. But in any case, I am here on the line with our first guest, the Lucky Titan. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for these 2019 Marble Olympics, and of course excited for the content and you have to provide. So,
Yeah,
would you like to talk a little bit about your channel and what it is that uh, what you creating and what's going on in the future?
yeah, sure. So basically, I like to do marble videos as well, and I'm doing basically a parody of Jill's marble runs, but I call it the Marble Summer Olympics.
That's
And
good.
the qualifiers are actually going to be released tomorrow, but for you guys, when you see the podcast, they'll probably already have been released, the first episode of the qualifiers. Um, So basically, the first episode is going to be just a generic funnel race, and we're going to be doing there's 7 divisions of 6 teams each, and then there's going to be one team from each division that'll qualify, and there's already 9 pre-qualified teams from my last season. So basically, the names of the teams from the pre-qualified teams are Avalanche, Cherry, Evergreen, Hurricane, Midnight, Lightning, Party, Chargers, and Flare. They have qualified from previous seasons, and then I'm doing the qualifiers to see who the remaining 7 will be to join them.
Oh, okay. That sounds like really good. So, like, you had a previous season, so you already had some skilled
Experience.
marbles. Yeah, experienced marbles, which is good. By the way, cut in here for a second.
Hmm.
If you don't know his channel, then his channel is called just the Lucky Titan. So if you look up the Lucky Titan, you'll see some more great marble content. Make sure to do that. So how will your Summer Olympics proceed when you get to the normal events? Is it like a point system, elimination system? How
Yeah.
will this work?
All right. So basically, I have a 12 event system in the A League, which is made of the 16 millimeter marbles, which are the regulation size. And then I'm going to have a B League with 8 events for the 14 millimeter marbles.
Oh, okay.
And in previous seasons, I've mixed the two, but I want to upgrade the quality this year, so I want it to be all the same size.
They have to keep them separate. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that.
And so basically, how it's going to work is there's going to be 12 events in the main one, which I'll probably be talking about here. So it's going to start out with the sprinting tournament, which is just like the generic race down like a 4 lane track that I do. And
Hmm.
that's going to be the opener. And basically, how it's scored is of the 16 marbles, there's heats of 4 each. And then they're going to have the top 2 move on from each heat and so on until we get to the final 4, and then points will be awarded for them, and then
Right.
points will be awarded for the ones who got out in the semifinals. So that'll be the points. So the top ones will get 10, 9, 8, and 7 points. The one who are out in the semifinals get 6, 5, 4, and 3 points. And then there will be a race with the 2 best times from the original heats, and the top 4 marbles with the best times will go in to
Hmm.
the race, and then
Okay.
the top 2 finishers will get points from that.
Oh, okay. So it's a pretty nice system of points.
Yeah. And
And
then the 6 who were the worst marbles don't get any points, and that's the same system for every event except event 2. But yeah, if you want me to talk about that, I will.
all right. I know obviously we can't, don't have time to go through all 12 events, but is
Yeah.
there any, I do, as an event, and then your qualifiers that I definitely want to discuss in a quick moment. But besides that one, is there any other very exciting or unique events you think are worth noting here? Or do you want to keep it all a surprise?
I'll keep a few a surprise, but the final event in my thing, I like to make like a nice homemade course
Mm-hmm.
that takes like 2 days to prepare, and it's pretty nice. And then we have a nice swimming event, and there's a few
Almost like
more. Hmm?
it's almost like an all-terrain type course. So you're talking like many different types of
Yeah,
uh,
that's
track types, things like
y-
that.
yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do this year. Like, last year, me and my dad we got like this like gutter lining thing from Home
Oh,
Depot
very
or
cool. Very
from Lowe's, and we put like nails in it and made it basically essentially like a plinko thing.
right, right.
And that's not the thing that I'm gonna be using in the qualifiers, but that's like just what I did last year, but I'm gonna make it like bigger this year.
Oh, that sounds very, very cool. So that's a good event to look out for.
Yep, the
Another
last.
one that I was really interested in, and you know this,
Mm-hmm.
your second or third qualifying event
Third. Yeah.
is actually a big giant plinko board. It's like I don't know, very, very looks very well made. But if you want to explain, first of all, how you came up with that idea and how that's going to work. I mean, because that seems like one that'd be fun to watch. That's an idea Gel even seems has not come up with yet. So
Yeah.
surprised he hasn't come up with that. So I want you to explain that a
Yeah.
little bit.
So, in addition to it being the third event of the qualifiers, where there's going to be 4 events, it's also going to be the 6th event, or the halfway point of the main
Very good.
Olympic
Yeah.
season. And basically, how it started was, I was bored one day, so I decided to go to my grandpa's house, and he has like this really nice woodworking shop there, and so we wanted to build something there. So and that was when I was first starting to get into marble racing. So I
Yeah.
just decided, why not we try and make something that I can use in my videos? And then eventually we got to the idea of a Plinko board.
That's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So is that your idea, your grandpa's idea, or kind of both?
It was like a joint idea, yeah, and he was like the one who did a lot of the execution for it. I did like the design and a lot of like the gluing and nailing stuff in.
Good job, yeah.
Yeah, and basically, so basically what it is, it's like I think it's like 1.5 feet by a foot, and essentially you put them in through the top. They'll bounce down like layer by layer with staggered nails, and then they'll get to like the bottom of it, which is also like a ramp, and it'll lead outside of the Plinko board, and then it'll like land on like a Hot Wheels track, which is what I usually use, and it'll carry them to the next part of the course.
Oh, that's quite cool. So it's used kind of like a part of a course. That's a really cool, unique event. Obviously, if you're one of the few out there who don't know what a Plinko means, then just look that up, because it's quite easier to just look it up than it is for me to try to explain a Plinko. But it's kind of just like it's like a how would you even explain that? Like, you probably had the best explanation you could give on something like that. So, but yeah, that for me is quite a creative event. I mean, obviously there's a lot of water events this year in the Marble Olympics that people are just, dying over, like super creative. How is he going to do that? But I mean, for me, I'm also going to check this one out, because for me, I like the idea. I've never seen this done before, because I mean, I'm in a lot of marble tracks people try to make, but I haven't seen a Plinko board. And if you go to his channel, you can see what it looks like, and it's actually quite well made. It's quite big.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see how that turns out. So definitely check out his channel, The Lucky Titan, because he's going to be having an exciting marble sports tournament this year as well.
Yeah, and also you can see the Plinko board in action if you want like a preview of it. So you go to my channel, you go to playlists, and there's the 2018 Marble Olympics, and then you'll go to the video episode 6, and it's called Race Course, and you can just get an idea of it in action.
Yeah, please go check that out, guys. And with that said, as we're going to ask all our guests here, we want to hear your fantasy picks. As a big marble fan, we want to hear your ML fantasy picks.
All right. So I went with the 2 obvious ones. So basically, you started out with, I think, $5,000 to spend, and they priced teams.
All right, I never explained this. Yeah. Wait, if you don't mind me explaining this.
Yeah, you can explain it.
If you do, go pick your fantasy team on the fantasy site, which is linked in the Reddit, and you can just kind of look up, like I said before, fantasizers.com, and I think type in Marble Olympics and you'll find it. If you do want to make a team for that, how that works is once you make your account or whatever and you have your team name, when you go to the picking section, you're given like $5,000, as Lucky Titan said, and each team has a cost, and obviously more higher ranked teams over the past years have higher prices. So the Chocolatiers have quite a low price because they qualified low this year and they didn't do very well last year, while the Midnight Wisps have the highest price because they won last year. But yeah, you kind of have to balance out your teams. That's just because they don't want people picking Midnight Wisps, Arrangers, Savage Speeders, and Oceanics as their 4 teams, and then doing that because you don't have enough money for that. But I think it's great because then you actually have to sit there and think, okay, who's going to be the top teams this year? Who's not in the top 4 last year? That's going to probably make it there this year. And I can tell you, by the way, the top 4 this year are not going to be the top 4 last year. Refer to my previous episode to talk about that. But it's a good way they do it, and just it's a good way to pick. So you get 4 picks, and you have to balance out your money. And with that being said, what were your 4 picks, Lucky Titan?
Yeah, that was a really good explanation on my 4 picks. So I went 2 high-priced ones for consistency. I took the Savage Speeders and the O'Rangers because they have like pretty good fan bases and they always perform very well.
Okay.
I took a rookie, the Green Ducks, because they have a large fan base, and also, like, as you can see,
I don't know how that clapping audio came through,
it was
but
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I chose them because if you look at their previous events and previous years, teams with large fan bases most of the time do not disappoint. So I'm assuming that the Green Ducks will probably do very well this year.
Right, especially, I mean, come on, their performance in the qualifiers. I know people like to talk about, how that never always shakes out well in the regular rounds. But I'm telling you, if you haven't picked yet, put a pick on the Green Ducks. I mean, like, you're not gonna be disappointed, I don't think, this year. As discussed in the previous episode, about the Green Ducks, I sang their praises a ton. I think they're, for me, my favorite to do well this year. So I hope they do well. I'm definitely cheering for them. And then, the Savage Speeders and the Rangers, I did not pick them, but they're always solid picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to do this year. If you look at just the past 3 years, if you go on the past, they're definitely going to place top 6. But we have to see. But definitely good picks. What was your final pick?
I took probably the most underrated team next to the Hazers, the Balls of Chaos. If you examined the standings closely last in the 2018 Marble Olympics, you would see that they were at least in the top 3 all the way until event 10. And that screams consistency to me, and that's why it's like
Absolutely.
Probably a sleeper team here. I'm surprised less people have not picked them, so I think that they are definitely going to have a huge year this year based on how well they started last year.
That's a bold prediction.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, like, when I was picking, I was bouncing between them as well. I was actually like, maybe I'll actually go with the Balls of Chaos, because I remember that they were doing quite well through the first half, first 2/3 of the 2018 Marble Olympics, and they look like a very promising team. But they kind of fell off there towards the end, but I don't think that was because they were bad, but just the competition got so high. So I'm excited to see how they do. I didn't end up picking them, but I do support that pick. Definitely, that is a pretty good pick. So
yeah, it's my most riskiest pick.
Yeah, your riskiest pick, definitely. But I'm excited to see how they do.
Yeah.
And
closing words, I guess.
Yeah. Give me some closing words if you want to say anything.
All right, so I'm a primary fan. I've been a primary fan since it started, so I'm not too happy how they didn't qualify, and all these
I wouldn't be either.
All these memes about them really hurt sometimes, but sometimes you just have to go with it. But I'm also a Mellow Yellow fan, so I really hope that they do great this year.
Oh, then why did you not pick them for the qualifiers? Are you just a fan, but not necessarily trying to pick them?
I just like them. They're not going to do the best. I just hope that they do good.
Right. I kind of agree with that. I didn't pick them because I don't think they're gonna show up this year and all of a sudden take it all over. They haven't seemed to be leading towards that, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to because if you look at teams like Team Galactic, the Crazy Cat's Eyes, teams that did not really place that high in the past 2-3 years, but then you see them performance in the qualifiers, they're more of teams that you'll be like, okay, they didn't do well before, but they look promising this year. The Mellow Yellow, and for the Pinkies for that matter, and the Chocolatiers, all kind of not showing that.
Yeah.
They're at the bottom of the qualifiers, and even though they did qualify, they're not super promising to win this year. But who picked them? I think the previous video, the Red Pandas creator, Big Dave, I think he picked them because he's a Mellow Yellow fan, and he thinks they have something in them, even though they're at the bottom right now, that we're not seeing.
I hope so.
They did win one of the events, so second in one of the events in like very close race. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a pick. It's a pick,
Yeah.
and I hope they do well. But I think you have more likely picks, maybe.
So yeah, I guess. Thanks for having me. If you guys want to, you should definitely check out my Marble Olympics videos because the first episode of the 2019 qualifiers will have been released by the time this podcast comes out. So yeah, check that out and go Mellow Yellow.
Yeah, go Mellow Yellow and go all your picks. Thank you, Lucky Titan.
Thank you for having me.
Check out his channels, everyone.
All right, bye.
All right, see you, man.
All right, and that was the Lucky Titan. Great channel of his. He offered up to me a little bit of a shout out there on one of his recent videos, so I'm thankful to him for doing that for me. But yeah, very excited to see his Plinko event, definitely though, because I haven't seen something like that yet in the Marble Olympics or in the marble sports world, so it's probably the biggest thing for me. But definitely check out his Marble Olympics. So it looks like we will not be able to have 3 guests on. We were trying to get MSPN as well as another guest on, and we weren't able to get them. But we do have a special moment today. I was able to contact and technically have on as a guest a very big marble channel, Marble Fubeca. It's a Spanish channel. It's probably the biggest marble Spanish channel, marble sports Spanish channel. Obviously, or not obviously, but in this case, the creator and runner of this channel does not speak English very well, because they speak Spanish, of course. But I was able to interview him over some very interesting messages with Google Translate, all the different questions back and forth, and we had a good little discussion. I got to find out a lot about him, or at least give some good information and background about him that you may not have known. But it was a pretty nice conversation. Google Translate obviously clouded things a slight bit, but it made for a more comedic situation. But so we're gonna go through what he said, and how we'll do this is, and he's okay with this because he knows that most of the bad grammar and things like that are Google Translate's fault and not his fault. He's obviously a great speaker. This is more of a, just to lighten the mood here. But I'm going to read, obviously I'm going to go through the questions that I asked, and I'm going to read his answers like verbatim, exactly how they were typed, just for the comedic effect of it. And then I will obviously clarify what he is saying. But yeah, it was amazing to be able to have a little interview with him. I know he might be the second biggest marble sports channel in the world. I know he's gotten some good videos, and even had a video that got into the millions of views and stuff. So he gets a lot of support. So biggest Spanish channel, and we are going to see what he has to say. So I started off with, "Hello, how are you?" And then he said, "Hello, I'm very well." And then I was like, "Okay, how did you come up with your channel and your channel name?" So he says, "The Marble Fubeca channel was created a few months ago. The name Fubeca comes from the Portuguese that means marbles." So his channel name, technically translated completely to English, is Marble Marbles. Oh my god. But it's pretty funny. So Marble Marbles is his channel name, or for translated completely to Spanish, it's Fubeca Fubeca. Oh my god, I love it. But I wouldn't have guessed that. When you say it out loud, Marble Fubeca, it doesn't sound like Marble Marbles at all. It doesn't sound like it might even be that. So that was pretty funny and interesting to hear. That's a little trivia fact to take with you to marble sports gatherings. Marble Fubeca is Marble Marbles. It's hilarious. Comes from the Portuguese. So and then I said, what marble sports events are happening now and what marble sports events are happening in the future. Give dates or months if you can. So his answer here is, okay, it happened to 1 month and a half, the Copa America 2019 with 16 teams and was closed with 15 videos. Now we are pausing with mini tournaments, and in June will be held the Great Eurocopa 2019. It will feature 32 countries and it will be much longer with great editing and sound productions. I do not have precise date, but it will be near the winter here in Brazil. Euro 2019 will have many teams in the qualifiers, and this may be more than 42 countries. Gel is a great mentor to us content creators. Her races are exciting. That excites me. Excitement. Oh man, I love Google Translate. To hear that again. Her races are exciting. That excites me. Excitement. Gel is a great mentor to us content creators. Her races are exciting. That excites me. Excitement. Oh, he typed that again. So that's doubled of that. Looking forward to the start of Marble Olympics 2019. Okay. So to just go through what he means there, I think most of it was pretty clear actually. So the Copa America 2019 is the American Cup that he does on his channel. So he's saying like 1 month and a half, either 1 month and a half ago, or it took 1 month and a half. The 2019 America Cup with 16 teams was 15 videos long. Now he's not doing the mini tournaments at the moment, but in June he'll come back with them doing the Europe Cup 2019 with 32 countries, so 32 teams, and it'll be quite a bit longer with better editing. He doesn't have a precise date, but it'll be near the winter in Brazil, because the winter in Brazil, summer for us. So June is the month there. Many in the qualifiers, probably more than 42 for the Europe Cup. Gel is a great mentor to content creators. His, not her, races are exciting. I don't know where the "that excites me" excitement comes from, but probably he likes the races are very exciting and it makes him happy. And he's looking forward to Marble Olympics 2019, which is good to hear that he participates in that. And okay, what else did I ask here? What do you think about the Marble Olympics and Gel's channel? What were your Marble Olympics fantasy picks? Now, I don't think he had any fantasy picks as far as I know. I wasn't able to get that. Sensible, if you don't have the best English, you may not have caught the fantasy team thing, which is all right. But we will see what he has to say about the Marble Olympics and Gel's channel. As I bleeded into that question last time, Gel is a great mentor, and exciting excites me. Excitement, as you heard. Hilarious. Anyway, here's his continuation here. Yes, I am very enthusiastic about did I ask this? Okay. So also I asked about the partnership with MSPN as they were partnering and the English commentary. So I guess he talks about that here as well. So yes, I am very enthusiastic about partnering with MSPN. There are already recordings of the 2019 Copa America that ended, and I'll be back in English with comments. I received an invitation from the MSPN, and I was very happy because I always wanted to have my videos in English. Then appeared Rick, who will have a great mission to comment on the videos of Marble Fubeca. I believe that in the next few weeks, the Marble Fubeca channel will have Rick's comments, and it will be in polishing. I believe that's in polishing, but in polishing is a good word. In addition, the channel is reorganizing to some events, and besides the teams of countries, we will have teams created by me and the fans of the channel. The partnership with MSPN will be very important for the channel Marble Fubeca, because videos with narrations give life to marbles. Cannot wait to show you this. What can I say? I think that was decently clear. He's excited about partnering with MSPN. Recordings of the 2019 America. I think, so what he said was, to reread here, there are already recordings of the 2019 Copa America that ended, and I'll be back in English with comments. I think he's either saying that the 2019 America Cup has already ended, but he's going to go back and put some English commentary on it, or he's saying that he's already done that and that video is coming out soon. I'm not completely sure what that meant there. I think it's one of those two things probably. Apparently Rick O'Shea will be doing that commentary, and he's happy that it's in English, which is good. He's going to have fan-made teams and teams created by him outside of the countries that he does, which is good because the countries, people have different takes on using the countries as teams. I think it's okay, but not for Marble Olympics. But I guess for his situation, it's okay. If he does a Europe Cup, he should use Europe teams, is what I'm saying. But definitely the fan-made and creator-made teams are always more exciting and new. And then I tried to ask about the fantasy team picks again, and he said, we still have nothing to disclose. Everything is being reformulated for the upcoming events. So either he was still answering a previous question, or he just ignored fantasy team picks, which is fine. He may not be a part of that, which is fine. And he was okay with this reading. So yeah, that's Marble Fubeca news. That's him. That's what's going on with him. Definitely be aware of his channel. He's one of the bigger channels out there. Did I ask another question? Oh, he said something else here. Did I ask a question on this? Give me a second here. We need help in Google. We need help in Google. We need to help Google in translations, he says. I suggested SpanishDick.com because that one's decent. I was told that one was better than Google Translate, so a little bit of advice, wisdom there. Use Spanish Dict instead of Google Translate if you really want that clear translation, I guess. He also says, I forget when I asked this, but he says, yes, we are working very hard for new events and will soon have our videos on betting site. I am working hard with recordings of more than 500 short weekly videos for a great betting site. This also shifted focus to more elaborate tracks on the Marble Fubeca Canal. Marble Fubeca Canal. He has his own little river. Obviously, that probably means channel. I'm gonna assume channel. Hope channel. I don't know why it would be canal, but I think what he's saying is that he's going to try to get new videos and stuff on the betting site. I don't know what he means, but I'm working hard with recordings of more than 500 short weekly videos, because if he has 500 unreleased videos, that would be very impressive and unexpected. It's hard for me to believe that that is the case. I don't know. I think he just means that he has a lot of recordings and a lot of things waiting to come up. And then I think more elaborate tracks in the Marble Fubeca channel, not his canal. If he owns a canal and I'm wrong, then I'm sorry about that. But I'm hard-pressed to believe that he owns his own canal. Because that'd be weird. Definitely be weird in a good way, because there's nothing wrong with having a canal, but like I can't think of a reason to buy one. You can think of a good reason to buy a canal, like your own personal canal, and put elaborate marble racing tracks on it. Please let me know. Message me and let me know that, because I don't have an answer to that one. So I'm going to go with channel, and Google Translate is bad. But anyway, that's all the Marble Fubeca news. If it is any way unclear, always let me know. I can ask him more questions. I can try to re-clarify these things, but I think that it is pretty clear about him. And that was, I'm gonna count that as a guest, even though it's not a guest, just because we kind of did a private guesting situation that then I'm talking about on the podcast, because his English isn't like he said his English is not, he cannot speak English on a podcast like that for all these questions, because, he speaks Spanish. He speaks very good Spanish. So that is okay. But yeah, there's all the information there. So moving on here, I'm going to break in here for one moment. I can't believe I didn't announce this earlier, but if you didn't know already, the MSW podcast has very, very luckily, or at least we're very grateful for this. We were able to become one of the partners of the IMC, the International Marble Committee, which is the marble committee that oversees Gels Marble runs marble events, and I think has some hand in the other events. I guess anyone they're partnered with. So we are the 16th partner of the IMC. You can find the IMC by either, I think you can search up IMC Committee or International Marble Committee, or just searching up marble-sports.com. I think it's all there as well. So yeah, if you go into the front page, the hub of the IMC, you would scroll down and you'll see our podcast there, and our little logo thing will be getting up there soon, I believe. So we are partners with them. I'm very excited to be in partners with these very amazing content creators of Marble Sports, and I hope we continue to create good content with them. And you know what, guys? This is one step closer to what I would love to do for you guys, and that would be to have Gel himself or one of the runners of Gel's channel right here on the podcast to talk about their whole story, their whole marble story, and their take on their own events. I mean, remember, they keep it random as far as I know. They don't they script some of those little events, you know what I'm saying? So when like fans and stuff pop out and make disruptions, obviously they script those. But obviously the actual events themselves, they do not script. They do not continue to race the marbles until they get a specific result. They race them, and that's your result. As well as they actually did not script the injury of Momo, or any times the marble stops on the track, and they shouldn't have. They just kind of roll with that. And the injury to Momo was real. The marble actually chipped on the court in real live play. They keep the scripting to a minimum, but they do. I love the little scripting events they do with the little fan interruptions and things like that. It keeps it entertaining, keeps it great, keeps it more realistic. And because fans get rowdy and things happen, nothing ever runs 100% smoothly through the whole way. So I do enjoy that little bit of scripting, but it's exciting to be a partner with them. And I can't wait till we could possibly have them on here and discuss all about marbles with them, which would be so cool for me and for you guys to get to hear live one of these top content creators. Anyway, moving on here, another quick thing I want to touch on. We do have Marbles for Autism. His channel, MFA, has, or his channel actually is called Marbles for Autism. Started their Marble Olympics or Marble Sports Tournament, so definitely go check that out. He's a couple events up there already. They're pretty cool. Definitely check them out. I think the Lucky Titan has a couple up there too as well. So another Marble Olympics type topic here. There was this. I didn't get to this in the last episode because we kind of talked more about the fantasy picks. But there was a little video released by Gel a couple weeks ago now, March 29th. When was that? A couple weeks? Two, three, I don't even know. Why am I thinking about this? 2-3 weeks. It doesn't matter. The Flower Power Sand Marble Race by Gel's Marble Runs channel, which is a cool race. It was like a friendly race, you could say, of flower-themed marbles. They went down the track with the Sand Marble Rally would, and then you try to get first, of course. But it was good. It was a good little. I think it was just to break up the monotony of not having videos from Gel. The wait for the Marble Olympics was in its high prime there, as it was waiting. People had been waiting for a while, as well as there being a lot of waiting still left. But yeah, it was a good little race. There's nothing really for me to note here about this. I didn't analyze this as I would another event or race because, it wasn't really canon to the big events, the big tournaments. It was just kind of a friendly. If I had more time, I'd try to see, maybe pick out a couple of these marbles that might actually be really skilled competitors. I think these marbles were not really Sand Marble Rally, like high skilled Sand Marble Rally competitors as you would see from the real Sand Marble Rally, with, Big Pearl and Dragon's Egg and things like that. But they were they did good. They looked like they were they knew what they were doing, at least, and I enjoyed the race. It wasn't that bad. So not much to say on this. I guess just check it out, have your own opinions, and let me know if you think there's more to it than I'm seeing. But I'm just letting you know what happened, is all I'm saying. There wasn't anything, to me, worth noting. We have I don't know if you noticed, but a couple of things posted by Gel's Marble Runs on his Twitter as well. We got the stadium. They give a little flyover or view of the stadium. Over 11,000 marbles seated in that stadium, 11,000 fans, which is just incredible. Oh my God, 11,000, that's crazy. That's I don't know, it's not no more people that you usually see at a stadium, but it's quite a bit. You're getting up there. I mean, that's a lot of marbles. I don't know where he gets that many marbles. I mean, I don't know, how could I put this in perspective? I don't know. Most high schools, I guess if you go to a public high school, and maybe this would work better for American kids, I don't know about other countries how their schools work, but at least here, if you go to a public high school, you're looking at about a few thousand kids at each high school. So I guess put this in perspective, if you took all the kids in your high school and all of them had 3-4 marbles each, then you'd have what Gel has in his stands, which is incredible. I don't know if that put it in perspective for you, but that was the best example I could come up with. Or take a baseball or soccer stadium and I don't know, do they hold 11,000 or way more? I think way more. So maybe take a fourth of that stadium, and you're going to have about how many marbles you have in the stadium. It's quite a bit. It's incredible how many marbles he has in this stadium. So definitely look at that flyover. I think it's on the Twitter as well. On the Twitter, we have this new thing coming out this year, this new Marble Olympics betting thing where you can actually bet real money, real cash on Marble Olympics, on each single event, on the whole thing. You can bet with I guess you can bet against your friends and family, and you can just kind of really enjoy that. So I don't think it's too expensive. It's not it's not too crazy. So if you have some extra money and you wanna see if you can win some, even throw it into that betting. You can try to win the Marble Olympics for yourself, I guess you could say. Recommendations on picks if you're gonna bet. I can't really recommend on singular events. It's very hard for me to recommend. I can try, especially as we get into the season and I see the paths of the marbles and the skills of the marbles of each team. But on the whole thing, I mean, to just drop 3-4 good choices if you were going to bet. Oceanics, definitely a good choice. Green Ducks, a good choice. Indigo Stars could be a good choice. I would say the Team Galactic, Crazy Cat's Eyes, or Hazers would also be a good choice. After that, I'm dicey on the other teams. Notice I didn't say Midnight Wisps or Rangers or Savage Beaters. They could come through with all firsts again like they've been doing, or all top placements, but I'm not feeling it this year. I don't think it's their year. But those 5, say it again here: Oceanics, Green Ducks, Indigo Stars, it's 6 actually, Team Galactic, Hazers, Crazy Cat's Eyes. Those are 6 teams I would bet on. If I had to choose a bet, I'd choose in that environment there. But up to you. Obviously, if you think the Chocolatiers are going to come in and going to sweep everyone, then you go ahead and you bet on them. But I'm just giving you the likely picks, the picks I think. But I don't know anything, do I? Anyway, with that being said, our weekly question. Good time to roll out the weekly question here. And remember, you can respond to our weekly question at mswpodcast@gmail.com. Please, please, please always reach out to us with the answer to this weekly question, as well as with any ideas, suggestions, or thoughts. You can voice message us on the Anchor Podcast app at our profile. There's easy voice messages you can send to us. You can Twitter us at Marble Guy, or at Guy Marble. It's like GUYY Marble. You can Twitter us out there if you want to message us. And I don't know, that's it for now. I mean, I guess we'll try to get an Instagram soon. I know people like that. But our weekly question that you can respond to, should you desire, is what are your fantasy picks? We know that's a big topic now that the Marble Olympics has not quite started yet, but we're all excited for it, and the fantasy picks are out, or the fantasy team thing is out, which, by the way, you can find on the Reddit as a link, or on fantasizer.com. What are your fantasy picks? What are you going with this year? I know there's many arguments from many different teams. We've heard it on episode 3. We've heard it a little bit from Lucky Titan. I've heard it a little bit from other people thinking that other teams are really going to come through this year. Some people really putting a lot of stake in the Indigo Stars. Some people really putting a lot of stake back in the old top performers like the Rangers. But and some going with some of the newer teams as well, like Team Galactic, Crazy Cat's Eyes. I mean, it's up to you. What do you think is going to be it? I mean, like, we don't know, but you can make a good guess. So that's the weekly question. That might be it. That may be it for discussion. Not much going on. I mean, there's a lot going on and a little going on at the same time. There's so much drama and excitement coming up to these Marble Olympics. There's discussions on there's discussions on what I'm about to talk about to end out here. There was a little bit of a debate on a Twitter post too, I think either by Marble Olympics or by Gels Marbles, I forget exactly who. But they asked, or no, I think it was might have been by a different, like a more of a fan. I forget exactly who it was. But I know the post itself was talking about what you call a pack of marbles, like a group of marbles. And someone was like, they heard Mar Bunch, they heard roll of marbles, and other things. And there was a little bit of debate in the comments there. I commented on that. I said that a roll of marbles was definitely great. Great way to name them. I think Mar Bunch is a little bit cringy, if you ask me. But I don't have all the full information. If you can find the tweet on the Twitter, I mean, if you go to my Twitter, Guy Marble, I think you might be able to find where I responded as a comment to that. I don't know, but there's many different names. So I mean, what do you guys think? Mar Bunch, roll of marbles. Bunch of marbles. You come up with that, and you think about that, because someone's got to name a group of marbles. We have 11,000 marbles competing here. No, it's competing, being fans. 11,000 marble fans here, sitting in the stands, and groups of marbles running everywhere, up and down, enjoying the Marble Olympics. We need a name for this conglomeration of glass spheres, and that is not the name we would go with. But yeah, that was a random thing that happened. I'm going with roll of marbles. I think it rolls off the tongue really well, and I think it's a good way to call it. So you can think about that. That may be it, though. I mean, we're gonna come out with another episode in a week or two, leaning more towards 2, because I'm gonna let the in a couple of days the Marble Olympics first episode roll through, and then as long as it comes out by next Friday, I'll let the second one roll through, and I'll bring you analysis of both of those the next episode 5, as well as whatever else has been going on. And later on different episodes, we'll have more guests in, try to get some guests, maybe some teams themselves to come on and speak about their performance, about their enjoyment of the Marble Olympics. We'll try to get maybe the Green Ducks on here. That would be so nice. And maybe we want another more veteran team, like the Crazy Cat's Eyes, because I think they're going to perform. I'd love to have that team, if they perform well, maybe come on the show. But we will figure this out, and we will try to bring you the best information that we can. Obviously, I will be analyzing like crazy these events. I will try to help your betting, help your fantasy league be the best it can be, and just bring you the content you need. I mean, a lot of people want to know, like, what's really behind all the performance here. What's really the analysis here? When these marbles compete, I mean, like, who's really gonna perform later on in the competition, and like who's, because it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell on your own who's really gonna perform. But if you bring everyone's talking, you might be able to know. You might be able to wow everyone else and know who's gonna win these Marble Olympics. Very excited about that. But yeah, I think we're gonna end here. And as we end, I'm going to explain our outro song in a little bit more detail than I usually will or would. So I was at a nice concert this past weekend, Friday night actually. My family wanted to go to a concert for Billy Joel, so we went to that. And Billy Joel he's an American performer, so if you're not American, you may not know him. I think he might have toured out in the world at some point. But he's a great performer. He's not necessarily my genre of music, but I really enjoyed that concert, and so our outro song today is going to be one of his songs for you to enjoy. Probably going to go with Scenes of an Italian Restaurant here by Billy Joel, because I really do enjoy that song. So we're going to outro with that probably. And we'll see you guys next episode. Next episode, we will be on the other side of a couple of Marble Olympics events, and I can't wait to dive into that with you guys and enjoy that. So with that, guys, go watch the Marble Olympics, go watch the other channels mentioned today, and message us with any of your messages. And here we go to our